Greetings gastronauts, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today I'm going to do something that's probably going to be really wonderfully yummy, but I've never done it before, so we'll see. It's a chili potato bake, oh yeah! Before we do that, quick shout out to my new Patreon fan, Rich Thomas, thank you and welcome, and to Alan Brown who requested this. He says his mum used to make it and he loves it. It's just layers of mild chili, potato, some cheese in there, some breadcrumbs on top, and it's baked till crunchy and golden. It sounds fantastic. I wasn't sure this was a thing, so I googled it, and it is a thing. It's not a definite thing, and you can't say where it comes from, which is good because it'll cut down on the arguments. But I mean, who doesn't love chili con carne? Spuds, cheese, stuff like that, bubbling away. It's fantastic. So if you enjoy this video, give it a like, share, subscribe, etc. Let's get on with it. Chili potato bake. The ingredients for the chili con carne. This, by the way, is British chili con carne, which is like nothing else on earth. Certainly nothing that a Texan or a Mexican would recognise. This is just basically the sort of generic Brit chili recipe-ish. So I've got half a kilo of minced beef. I've got a chunk of purely optional leftover roast pork or beef or, yeah, whatever, or bacon or nothing. A medium onion, a stick of celery, a carrot, half a litre of beef stock made from a cube, and a can of beans and a can of tomatoes. These are mixed beans for tacos in a spicy tomato sauce, which I've taken to using recently because, you know, it's quite easy. It's a nice mix of beans. Normally people tend to use just red kidney beans, and I find that pretty boring after a bit. Also a small handful of coriander and some chili powder. I may not need that because it depends on how much heat is in this, but we'll see. And, you know, I don't like too much heat, so I'm a wimp. And also some ground cumin. So we need to peel and dice the onion. Okay, we need to finely dice the celery. Magic knife doesn't really work for that. And grate the carrot. And yes, I could use a food processor for this, but who needs the washing up? Actually, half a carrot. So I'm going to use this induction hob, which I bought a few years ago and used it a few times and then, I don't know, put it away and forgot about it. At the weekend we had a good old tidy up and I found it. Induction is a pretty energy efficient way to cook stuff, so we'll see how we get on with that. And I'm going to use this cast iron casserole, which is, cast iron is a perfect material for induction, also stainless steel. And anything that's got a bit of iron in it will work. Aluminium or copper, no. So I need to heat some oil on low, and I'll pop the onions in and let those cook gently for about 5 minutes. Then I'll add the celery and the carrot and let those gently cook for another 5 minutes. Then we can turn up the heat a bit and add the mince and break that up and get it browned all over. And while you're doing that, you want to be chopping up your solid chunk of roast pork if you've got one. When the beef is browned, add any other bits of meat that you're going to put in, and the beef stock and the tomatoes and the beans. Bring those up to boil and then turn them down, simmer them a bit. Add a teaspoon of cumin and the chopped coriander. Alright, let's have a little taste. That is pretty bland. So definitely some chili. Also some salt. So I'm going to let that bubble away for about 10 minutes for some of the liquid to evaporate. And while that's happening, we'll get on with the taties. Okay, I've got 3 potatoes. I'm not going to peel them, I'm just going to cut off the not very nice bits. And you see, lurking here, my least favourite kitchen gadget, the mandolin. And if you haven't got one of those, don't worry, you've got one of these. So set the aperture as wide as it'll go. grab the guard and slice your tatties. Now pop them in a pan of salted water, pop it on the stove, bring it to the boil, and just let them simmer for about 10 minutes till they're just on the edge of tender. You don't want to overcook them or they'll fall apart. Now I've got some coarse breadcrumbs and some mature cheddar. I'm just going to grate the cheese, about the same amount as we have breadcrumbs. Got my drained potatoes steam drying in a colander, and got the lovely chilli and the breadcrumbs and the grated cheese, and just put a single layer of the chilli in the bottom of a roasting tray or a casserole dish or whatever, something oven proof, and then start making a single layer of potatoes. And I'm going to cook these in my air fryer oven at 180 degrees Celsius, and that will be the same for a big fan oven or convection oven, and a conventional one would be 200 Celsius, and that is gas 6. Now another layer of chilli, there'll be the spuds, and the rest of the potatoes. Then finish it off with the rest of the chilli, and the breadcrumbs, and the cheese. Alright, I had to use a bit more cheese and I didn't quite use all of the breadcrumbs. So I'm going to pop that in initially for 20 minutes and see how it's doing. We want it golden and bubbling and lush. Okay, there we go. Cheese is a little bit weird. That actually had 25 minutes, so well, we'll let it cool down a little bit and then we will do a taste test. Well, I will. Right, let's just grab a bit. Okay, it's taste test time with a... That is superb, really nice. The chili's actually really mild. Could have done with more heat, even for me, so there you go. Anyway, very interesting take on lasagna, and yeah, give it a go. Chili potato bake. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.